following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, why every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me, big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC,
always love the clothes of Jimmy,
British punk, yo, what I wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity,
we'll take you out to Jimmy Stars.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We have a fantastic show for you guys today. I'm really excited about it. But before we talk about it, let's say hi to my cool, outrageous man about town, co-host Mr. Ron Russell.
Excuse me, but I'm kissing my dog who I love more than life itself, my Astro. Look at Astro, you're on television. This show is starring Astro.
Look at how cute he is.
Look at Astro. So I wish his hair would grow longer. We cut him down. He doesn't look like him. I like him when he's all curly and fuzzy. Get down now.
It'll be soon.
No, get down.
It'll be soon. So we got a great show for you guys today. We have two phenomenal actors coming on. The first one coming on today is Jamison Newlander, who was actually on the show June 15th, 2011. So it's been a long time since we've talked with him, and I'm looking forward to having him back on. And then we have Greg Mullavey coming on, who basically has worked with like every Hollywood icon that there is practically.
He hasn't worked with me yet.
He hasn't, but he's going to be on the show right now, so that's in a way working with you.
Well, maybe.
And he's calling from New York because he lives in New York.
Lucky.
So it's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. We might as well get some of our other stuff out of the way real quick. We want to thank everybody for tuning in every week. Last week's show is doing really, really well. We also got named, I think, number 23 on the list of the bet, because our podcast is longer. Most people have 15 to 45 minute podcasts and stuff. Our podcast is 2 hours, and FeedSpot named us number 23 of the top 200 podcasts that are over 2 hours. So I guess there's lots of them, but we're in the top 23. And we've also hit we're number 8 in the UK again. So we're hitting all the charts. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Prime. Yay! And
I'm happy to announce, yay, I got my contract for Clown Motel 3, what's the rest of it? It's clever now.
I forgot.
It's Clown Motel 3 something.
We're shooting in August, right?
Yeah,
August?
we're shooting August 14th. So we're going to be working again. I play General Milan, and I gather my soldiers together, and we go out into the desert to Clown Motel, the spooky Clown Motel, and we kill all those killer clowns. So I'm excited. Joe Kelly is doing a great job with the script.
And we get to actually go to Clown Motel this time.
Yes, we'll go.
We haven't ever actually been, even though he was in the last one. We didn't go to the Clown Motel.
I shot here in California.
In LA.
But we're going to, what did I say? Yeah, we're going up to Nevada to Clown Motel. It's a spooky, haunted, it's really haunted, so they say. And, I'm so psychic, but I'm sure that somehow I'll get a happening of some kind.
We have to go up a little so we don't chop off your head and your beautiful hair.
Don't chop off my head, you son of a
And
gun.
your beautiful hair.
My beautiful hair.
Yay! So it's going to be fun, you guys. Also, for anybody looking for something to watch, that new show on Peacock with Sam Neill, the Apple something. I don't know the name of it, but I watched the whole thing, and it's pretty good. I found it very interesting, and it was different. I thought it was going to be similar to that staircase one, but it was very different. But
It's
I enjoyed
very cute,
it.
you know that?
Thank you.
If I wasn't with you, I'd pick you up.
Okay, good.
I really would. If I wasn't married to you, I'd pick you up because you're cute.
We have lots of stuff.
You're
Cool.
really cute.
Thank you, honey. You're gorgeous. So,
No,
all right. So we want to say hi. Lady Lake.
Cute?
Lady Lake is in the chat room too. People are just starting to show up. B. Claudia just showed up. We want to say hello to B. Claudia.
B. Claudia, thank you. And one more thank you for
Don't say what, because we don't want people to know that. Just say thank you.
Thank you for everything you do for me.
Yes, B. Claudia, you're a rock star. Lady Lake, hello.
You know, B, you should come to California or New York or Florida, wherever we wind up. Have you ever been to the United States?
Actually,
have you ever been
I'm
to
not
the
sure
States,
if she has.
Claudia?
But B. Claudia, so we were at the premiere for Marcel Waltz's film Brute 1976.
Oh my
God! And the investors for his film were from Cologne, Germany, and they invited us to visit with them when we go to Cologne, Germany to shoot Psionic Rush. And so, no, she's never been here. She said, thank you so much. So we're going to see you sometime because we're coming to Cologne, Germany to shoot this movie.
Yeah, how far are you from Cologne?
20 minutes, she said.
20 minutes?
Like 20
from
minutes.
The Cologne studios?
Yeah, so we're going to be there.
And then we're going to Bern.
No.
But Germany, Bern. B-U-R-N or B-E-R-N.
What's in there? What's there?
That's where the studio is.
No, it's in Cologne. It's called Cologne Studios.
Yeah, I know that, but we're going to Bern first. And then Bern is one of the oldest towns, spooky and all little chateau, very weird.
I didn't know that we were going there.
I think we're doing some exterior shots at Bern, and then we go to Cologne for the interior
And then
shots.
we're going to Portugal, right?
We're going to Portugal. First,
Yes.
We're going to Portugal. Then from Portugal, we go to Bern to shoot whatever. And then we go to Cologne.
To work in
and
Cologne
then I'm
Studios.
flying with Jimmy from there to Italy.
Oh, B says Bern is in Switzerland.
No, but it's not Bern, B.
He
It
doesn't have the right name.
begins with a B.
Bonn.
Barn.
Maybe
It's
Bonn.
outside of Cologne.
Anyway.
It's sort of north of Cologne.
We're going to see you, though, sometime in the next, hopefully, year, B, because we're coming.
Right, and then we'll go to dinner. And then I go to Italy to visit my family in Genoa with Jimmy.
I love it.
And then home.
So I think it's so much fun. We're going to have a good time with it.
The only thing is my dog. How am I going to live without Astro? I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. If I don't kiss my dog every day 1,000 times, I'm not a happy camper. And they said we could take him, but somebody said he has to go in quarantine. And I don't think so, because Devin, Ron Moss's wife, has a little baby, and his name is Prince. And she took him to Italy and all over the country. There's no way that Devin would ever be separated from
But
Prince.
Italy might be different.
No, but we're going to have Devin and Ron on the show. And when they come on the show, we'll talk about it with Devin, because she will not leave Prince aside. No matter where we go, if we see Devin, Prince is in her little bed.
Actually, our second guest today, you guys, actually also worked with Ron Moss because he was on The Bold and the Beautiful for a bunch of episodes. So
and Ron Moss,
all our 6 degrees of separation.
Ron Moss has a whole bunch of new stuff going on, so we'll hear about it.
B said The Barn. It's called The Barn. It's in Cologne.
What is that, honey?
The Barn. It's in Cologne.
Is that a town?
It's a place in Cologne.
Is it an old town that's spooky looking? Because I understand that this town that we're going to for the exteriors is ancient, and it's very, very macabre looking.
And the meanwhile, we saw Brute 1976. It'll come out, next year.
Oh my God!
It was a lot of fun. We got to see all our friends, and we had a really good time. And for those of you who are fans of The Hills Have Eyes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's very much an homage to that. And they did a great job.
Sometimes I say things and people think I'm mean. I'm not mean. I love Joe Nitter. He is one of the most honest, nicest writers and friend that I have. I trust Joe with my life, but he's nuts. He's insane. He is demented. He needs to be institutionalized, because this movie is... Ah!
I loved it.
Jimmy loved it.
I thought it was fantastic.
I kept losing my breath and looking down at this movie. No, folks.
Marcel Waltz, Sarah French.
No, this movie had a scene in it. No, folks.
Yeah, sorry, we can't tell you. But
we can't tell you the scene. But, folks, I said to Jimmy, let's get the guys with the white suits to get Joe. Joe needs help.
B says it's a part of Cologne. It's like a little suburb in Cologne.
Is it spooky?
I don't know if it's spooky.
Because
She's Googling it, so she doesn't know.
They said that it's very, very ancient and very spooky. Anyway, getting back to the movie, I enjoyed it, and I don't like horror movies. I wish I could tell you, but I can't.
No, you can't tell.
But Sarah French is so beautiful, and looking at Sarah French for an hour and 20 minutes is a sheer delight. So I had a good time, and it was good seeing Marcel. And the two fellas that Jimmy talked about from Germany were the nicest, most gentle. I've got to say, I've met quite a few people now from Germany through Marcel. The young people in Germany have such a respect for age. They didn't treat me like an old man, but they treated me with such kindness and caring, held my arm when we walked, asked me, would you like to sit? European people are so much nicer than we are here. We're very rough and very in a subway.
And
there could be a 90-year-old crippled woman in a wheelchair, and they'll knock her over to get a seat in the subway. Not in Europe.
They were very nice.
Very charming.
They sent us. They
were married. Two gay guys married.
They sent us a nice to meet you text the next day, and then on Sunday when they were flying back to Germany, they said, they hope to see us in Germany soon, and they were very nice.
They invited us to stay with them. I don't like staying with people. I'm not comfortable. So we'll stay in a hotel. Besides, the production's paying for the hotel. So, but we will see them socially. And they're lovers, they're husbands, they're married for 16 years, and just the most delightful people. And then we met another guy from Switzerland with their other movie who was absolutely magnificent looking. And I said to him, are you ever going to think of being an actor? He laughed. He said, oh, no.
She says, we teach manners in Germany.
What?
She says, we meet... She said, B says,
don't talk away from
B says she'll show you the best restaurant, and in Germany they teach manners.
No, when I come there, the first thing I'm going to order.
She says we'll have a wonderful time. All right, so we're going to move on. Ready? All right, so real quick, you guys. So our first guest is going to be on. I'm going to hope that we don't get in trouble for playing this because I'm going to play a video before he comes on. Again. This is the 35th anniversary trailer to The Lost Boys because our first guest is one of the stars of The Lost Boys, which happens to be in my top 5 favorite movies of my entire life. And so I'm super excited that he's coming back on the show. So real quick, we're going to play the trailer for it. Hopefully they don't flag us and put a little dink in a thing. But either way, we'll be right back. And then we'll be back with Jamison Newlander. So here it is, you guys, just so you know what we're talking about. The Lost Boys 35th anniversary trailer. Enjoy.
You'll never grow old, Michael. And you'll never die. Be one of us.
Notice anything unusual about Santa Carla yet?
It's a pretty cool place. If you're a Martian.
Or a vampire.
Dad!
You know where Hudson's Bluff is? I can't beat your bike. You just have to try and keep up. How far are you willing to go, Michael? Guess first. How are those maggots? Drink some of this, Michael.
Don't. It's blood.
Michael. Now you know what we are. Now you know what you are.
Help me! Stay back! Stay back! Help me! My own brother, a vampire. You wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
You don't want to miss this.
You smell like garlic.
Hey, so everybody, that was the Lost Boys 35th anniversary trailer, and I don't know how long ago that was, but now we're going to bring on one of the stars of the film, Jamison Newlander. Let's bring him on. Hey, dude, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
12, 13 years.
It was June 15th, 2011. I looked it up today.
Wow. That's
so
pretty
June
cool.
15th, 2011. And
Like yesterday.
Ron wasn't on the show back then. We're a lot bigger now.
That's when the show had no ratings.
No, it had ratings.
Yeah.
So actually, I looked it up today. We got 976,000 plays when you were on the show the last time. But right now, we're averaging 5 million.
Amazing.
I'm going to let you know in
that's ever since I came on the show.
In like 3 weeks, we'll let you know like how we did and if we're doing better. In the meantime, this is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell. Say hi to James.
Nice to meet you, Ron.
With that introduction, I could comment from that introduction. Mr. Ron Russell, I'll remember that when you want to make.
You do it. How would you want to? You do it. Give us
I'm married to the son of a gun, and
I know, but it was a build-up. It was a big build-up, like Mr. Ron Russell.
Like an old man.
No, not like an old man.
Do you like to be introduced as Mr. Newlander?
Sometimes it's cool. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I can feel a little bit like, you want to be like Ron Russell. You know what I mean?
Jamie, are you married?
I am, yes.
Would you like your wife to introduce you as Mr. Newlander? No.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I mean, in certain ways.
Either way, when I go to the doctor's office I say that I'm his husband so I can answer the phone calls and questions and stuff, and then he doesn't like that either. So it's kind of like a lose-lose. No matter what you say, you're going to lose.
I am a very independent 83-year-old man. Okay,
wow, 83 years old. I can't believe
it. I'll be 84 in May. And I'm a great, great believer in just because you're in your 80s does not mean you're demented, stupid, backward, or you can't do anything. Because I function exactly as I did when I was 20. So
yeah, totally. My mom is in her 80s.
Unless, of course, you are unfortunate to, like, what's his name, who died today. I feel so bad.
Who died?
Oh, I didn't hear.
Died. The big star.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yes.
I wasn't on social media today.
Why can't I think of his name?
Who died today, B? Look it up.
The guy that we were hiring for the movie that wanted $3 million, who's got dementia.
Oh, that's a fake news.
That's a fake news?
Yeah, that's fake news.
No.
He's not just pretending to die so that he doesn't have to do the project.
It's not Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
No, he didn't die. That's a fake news thing. I Googled it last night.
It was all over my Facebook page.
So anyway.
How did they get away with that?
So you guys, Jamison was on. First of all, I didn't know. So I knew you were Jewish, but I looked you up. Last time I just knew a lot about you just because I know a lot of shit about the whole movie since it's one of my favorites. But I didn't know you were born in New York. I didn't know you went to NYU. I didn't know I knew you were from a Jewish family, but I didn't know you were from a Jewish family with Italian descent.
What the fuck?
It's
married to me. I can't get over it.
First of all, I wasn't born in New York.
Oh, you weren't born in New York? Oh, your Wikipedia says you were born in New York.
I know. I noticed that. I think I noticed that maybe with your thing, and it was something else, and I haven't yet corrected it. But
okay.
No, I was born in LA, but I moved to New York, and then I went to NYU.
Okay, so where?
I almost thought you were perfect.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you. You know what's interesting is that when I was a teenager, like when I was doing Lost Boys, when I was, kind of in that zone, I was kind of trying to pretend to be a New Yorker. Really, I mean, that sort of like vibe, that tough vibe that New Yorkers had. I loved it. That's why I ended up moving there.
Well, I don't know why Jimmy's so shocked about your situation. My father was Jewish. I'm Italian, so
but that's you.
Yeah, but I know, but you've been exposed to me.
No, I know that.
So that the thought of being Italian and maybe Jewish
it's not that. It's the fact that I didn't know he was.
You must remember one thing. Jewish is not a nationality. Jewish is a religion.
Oh, I know that.
Sure. And also, as Jewish goes, I'm not really religious, and we're not religious.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I mean, my kid had a bar mitzvah, but we sort of, we was like, he didn't even go to Hebrew school for that long. We just kind of made it happen.
My father and mother were socialists. Another word for communists. And communists back in the 40s didn't believe in religion. Church and synagogue, they thought religion, like Russia, there's no such thing as religion in Russia.
Godless communists, that we kind of use that to
anything. She was Catholic, he was Jewish, and I just grew up with nothing. But in my later years, I chose to be Jewish over being Catholic.
Why was that? Why did you choose that? Just
So I don't practice.
Why did you choose that? He said.
Why? Because the Jesus Christ stuff I don't go for. I don't believe, and I like the first Bible better because Moses did communicate with at a spacecraft. There was a spacecraft hovering over Moses with the loudspeaker
like
giving him the Ten Commandments. No,
I used to be into that kind of stuff.
No,
I really believe in that. That the Jews came. We are from another planet. I believe that many millions of years ago, and that the religion of Judaism came from the extraterrestrials. So I believe that it's the closest thing to the Creator. Being Jewish, the religion is far more understandable than the second book.
Yeah, totally. I grew up basically Jewish, lightly Jewish, but and it's sort of the one that I feel most comfortable with. I have a hard time with like a guy in the sky, kind of thing, like the guy in the sky is telling us what to do. It just doesn't seem, I feel like they meant it more metaphorically, but when you start getting into the possibility of spacecrafts, I read that book, Chariots of the Gods. Do you remember this book?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
American.
I did like a report on that in like 7th grade or something like that. And it was really fascinating to me. Like I was full on believing it at the time. I haven't really thought about that much since then, but it's interesting stuff.
Absolutely.
Listen, we had to come from something. We know that.
Yeah, that's true.
So why not? Now, people say to me, oh, you're crazy to believe in extraterrestrials. And I say, well, do you believe in Jesus? Oh, yeah. Well, you believe in a man who could create miracles and do all those things, and his father is God. What about mother? Does God have a mother? Did he fuck some woman to get you? I mean, where did Jesus come from? An eggshell? I mean, it's just so ridiculous. I can't believe it. And for all of you people out there who love Jesus, I respect you. So I don't want to upset or offend you. To each his own.
So let's go.
No, I'm not finished, Four Eyes.
Four Eyes.
To each his own.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Actually, wait, I have a question though, so I'm going to move on. So wait, how old were you when you asked? First of all, we're not going to spend the whole time talking about the Lost Boys. I just got to get it out of my system again.
That's cool. I love talking about the Lost Boys.
But how old were you when you did the Lost Boys?
I was 16.
Okay, you were so much younger.
Yeah. I was 16. I auditioned for it when I was 15, and then but then by the time we started shooting, I was 16.
You look like 12 years old to me, anyway. Didn't you look young?
Yes. So
you didn't look 16.
So I love it.
Yeah.
So
16 when I was.
This
16,
is my.
I look like a man.
I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
So we've actually on the show. Me personally, and on the show, we've been super fortunate because we've. Well, first of all, I met Corey like years ago with Brooke McCarter. Brooke McCarter and I were really, really good friends. I initially met him at a convention in Florida, and
this is not your interview.
Hang on, just wait a second.
It's not your interview.
This is my guy.
I want to hear him talk.
We're gonna have him talk. Relax. So Brooke McCarter.
We fight all the time.
Brooke McCarter was a really good friend of mine.
Do people call you Jamie?
You can if you want. People these days call me Jamison, but there's still a handful of people that call me Jamie. You're welcome to.
I like Jamie. Jamie's.
So wait a sec. Let me finish. So I became really good friends with Corey Haim through Brooke.
Yeah, they were tight.
I met Jamie Gertz. I met Billy Wirth a bunch of times. We see him in L.A. all the time. Now, where do you live now? Do you live in L.A. now?
Yeah, I'm in L.A.
Oh, I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought you were like in Texas or someplace. I didn't know where you were, but okay. I didn't know you were in LA.
You see why nobody likes you?
We see Billy all the time at all the premieres because, like, we usually get invited. Billy Wirth, another guy from the Lost Boys.
Right.
He's in all Harley's movies.
Right.
I mean, I should go to the premieres. I got the kids, and they're old enough now. I can leave and go to premieres, but there was a little while I couldn't.
Corey Feldman's been on the show.
You should go to those carpet things. We love them because we get a chance to socialize with everybody.
I love that stuff.
That we don't socialize with, normally. Yeah. And it brings us together. And it's very, very, it's fun.
So one thing that's changed.
Nobody's there for me, for my generation. They're all dead.
Well, you represent.
I have all the young friends, all the young people.
So one thing that changed, though, since the last time you were on, I think last time maybe you only had one child and now you have two, or maybe you didn't have any and now you have two.
Yeah, so what? It was 20, what was it, 2011?
Yeah, June 15th, 2011.
Yeah, so my second kid was born in 2012. Was born in November of 2012, so almost a whole year later.
So you only had one of them, yes, a little over a year later. I love it.
So what are you doing?
You know what? They're getting into acting. Actually, we just got headshots for them.
Why are you allowing that? What are you, crazy? Well, listen, what do you do? Are you working? Do you have a job? Are you sitting home playing with yourself? What?
So I for a long time I wasn't taking a break from acting. I just was trying to find something that actually paid, money and stuff, So right. So I was in marketing for a while. I became a marketing. I was an actor, turned to writer, and then I was writing so much, and screenplays, just they didn't get sold the way I was envisioning. They were going to all just fly off of the shelf. And then so I was in marketing. I was a marketing writer for a long time. So I still do that. I'm not at that job anymore, and so I'm doing that. And then I'm acting more. I mean, not since the strike and stuff, but I was just starting to act again. I booked a couple of gigs, and things were kind of. It's like over the last 10 years, I've like by hook or by crook got some new roles. And so I have kind of a current acting career going.
Well, you weren't doing anything and making money, period. You were philandering like we all do.
Yeah. I mean,
strike.
Yeah.
And that dumb strike fucked us up, but good.
Yeah. It's like kind of what happened with me is that, so it's like, when I left my marketing job and when I say left, I got laid off, and it was during COVID and, it was
terrible time,
crazy time. But what I decided is that it was time to do acting again because I was already making some money at conventions. Conventions were already heating up. I mean, not during COVID, but it had over the last 10, 15 years. And I was like, that is going on. Plus, the conventions are getting bigger, and so let's go for it. So I'm sort of going for it. I'm in that space of going for it. But then the strike came, I was like, I just had a little momentum, and then the strikes, and it's like,
listen.
So wait,
we're all screwed up. Nobody's got it right yet.
And it hasn't come back yet for us.
No matter who
acts and I produce.
No matter, I just got my contract. Guess what? I'm going to work August 14th. I mean, really? August 14th? I'll be 150. I mean, that's a long way off August 15th.
Yeah,
I have 6 movies to do, and they keep saying, "Oh, we're waiting. Our funding got screwed up, or whatever." It's all about the funding now. They had a lead. No, but like one movie I'm in. I can't wait to do it. It's a great script, and they said, "Oh, we have delayed it because our star is not available." When I thought, what the fuck is going on? Years ago, when I worked years ago, I got a phone call. Come to work. I went to work. I went home.
That's because you work for studio in the studio system.
I know that, but it was.
I mean, even when I was a kid, there was that kind of work. There was like a geysers of work at times, going on.
I never knew this Cosmoriah shit. All this junky stuff. I never knew it. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. I'm
also sort of. I'm sorry, I didn't. Go ahead.
No. Even when I did television, the manager calls you up and said, "Listen, are you available for blah, blah, blah?" And you think about it. Now,
you're on a veil or whatever,
I mean, forget about it.
Actually, though, I look because I actually thought we could plug something current for you. You have a new movie called Waking Nightmare, and I actually have the trailer we're going to play for everybody. And one reason it's kind of cool is Diane Franklin's been on the show. I've met David Naughton. He's never been on the show. And Jan Birch is a good friend of ours. We see him all the time.
I love that man and his wife. They're the most perfect people in the world.
She's like a genius, too. Like, people, like, she knows how to do shit.
Is that right? I don't know his wife. I only know him from, like...
You don't know Jan?
I know Jan from, like, conventions and stuff. Right. And then, like, conventions, you spend the weekend together, and we got like super tight in like maybe Liverpool one year,
Did you ever let Jan get into your head?
I don't think I did. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Don't. The man is extremely intelligent.
Yeah, they're like really
and very shrewd. And once he enters your head, you think, "Oh my God."
His wife is like one of the best. I produce a lot of films.
Yeah, we're fans of theirs. We're definitely fans.
She knows how to do everything. Like if I'm stuck and I have a problem, I can call her up and she knows how to like do everything on a film set.
Wow, cool. Those are cool people.
Jan is the most honest actor I've ever known.
I love Jan, and what's cool is that I'm in a movie with him now. It's like because of Waking Nightmare, and I think it was sort of maybe a little bit because of me. I think Billy hooked up Jan in that role, Billy Worth, because the director Brian Farmer, he came to me early on, and he was putting the script together. Really talented dude, by the way. I mean, that project is just kind of the beginning, I think, for him. He's him and all both of the directors, Stephen Craig as well. But I knew Brian Farmer, and the fact that Jan and I are in a movie together, and now that I'm in a movie with Diane Franklin, like that's amazing. Now
we see her a lot too at different events in LA.
You got to come to the carpets. Come to the good ones, the big ones.
I'm down for that. I kind of didn't think about going to the premieres and things like that, but I should. I mean,
wait a minute. If you get invited to the director's red carpet, the director's building,
I'm not in the
director's guild. The food is out of this world.
I've been to Directors Guild screenings actually.
The little hamburgers.
You know what? I will. So we get if I know Jan and Billy and a bunch of people are going to be at a premiere, I'll hit you up and ask, because I'm a publicist, so I get invited to everything.
Yeah, totally. I'd love to.
And I'm an actor. So there, I'm an actor, and I know everybody, so I get invited to everything. Also,
I love it. And the thing is that it's like I like to party kind of. I mean, I didn't. The thing is actually I would have probably done better in my early career if I knew how to party more as a teenager. I know
we don't party. We network. We don't party. We network.
It's the same thing, though, isn't it?
I have to tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
Paul Sorvino was going to be in my movie, right? Playing a mafia boss, and Paul was on our show. And Paul said he bought a beautiful farm in Pennsylvania and never got work. Nobody gave him work for years. He sold the farm in Pennsylvania, moved back to Hollywood. People saw him. He never stopped working.
Interesting.
Moral of the story, out of sight, out of mind, you're out of the business.
Right.
So when we go to red carpets, they come up to me and they say, "Oh, Ron, you know what? I'm happy I just saw you because I need a mafia guy in a movie." You know what I mean?
Yeah, great.
You will get work. You got to push a pussy, as they say.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I've sort of been doing it on Instagram and on social and things like that. And I have my YouTube show and stuff, and I've sort of been thinking that, but I haven't really thought about going to the premieres. I mean, I haven't really been invited, but
you'll get invited easily.
Jamie, a lot of work you'll get because people don't remember you. They don't remember me. Unless you're Burt Reynolds is dead, God forbid. Oh, poor Burt. But unless you're a superstar.
Actually, though, I think that you will, because there's a lot of nostalgia going around right now of having all the stars from the biggest movies in them.
True.
And since you're in one of the biggest movies, it could totally work. So tell us a little bit about Waking Nightmare. Tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll play the trailer for it.
Okay, cool. So, I play a dad. It's my first dad role. And it was just great working with Diane and Shelley. They're the ones I worked with most. All the other people in it were awesome, but the ones I was really working with closely were, my daughter, Shelley, in the movie, my daughter, and Diane, my wife. And it was just really cool because the really talented people and the script, like I said, Brian Farmer, and Stephen Craig, young, really hungry, talented people, and just trying to figure it out. You know how it is. You're on a film, and they're still a little bit young, but you can see they have this vision, and it just turned into a really cool movie. And I love how they finished it. They finished it with a bunch of cool graphics. I don't know if you've seen it, but you probably see it. You'll see it from the trailer. But
right?
I'm not sure. We're going to find out right now.
Will it be in the trailer?
Oh, yeah, I think it will. They did some cool stuff, and
it's fun playing fathers. I'm playing Kevin Bacon's father in a movie coming up.
Nice, cool.
The movie I'm talking about with the great script. And it'd be fun playing Kevin's father. The only problem is Kevin and I look the same age.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have to age me. And when the producer said, "Ron, we have to age you," I said, "Oh my God, that is so fabulous," because I don't look 83.
It's true. You look really
65.
Beautiful.
And thank you. And that's what Kevin Bacon is. So anyway, how are you going to play the father? I want to know.
Well, I mean, it's done now, but I was gray. I went gray for it. Yeah. And then I quickly went ungray.
No, but I mean, what method are you going to be? Father knows best, or are you going to be father that's mean,
Depends on
or
what the
father?
movie's
No, I
about.
want to hear how he's going to play father.
It's a great question. I think that
Played it already.
It's already
right?
done. That's why you have a trailer. 'cause it's already
goodbye,
done.
goodbye. We're going to watch a trailer.
No,
I mean, I mean, I could go back in
You
time.
introduce the trailer. You introduce it. Juan, play the trailer, and we'll be right back. Introduce it, though.
Introduce it. Like what do
Yeah.
you mean the movie? Okay. So, all right. This is called Waking Nightmare. It's a movie I did with a bunch of great stars. Diane Franklin. People from my genre. Diane Franklin. Also, Shelley Regner is one of the Pitch Perfect girls. So it was really cool, and the movie is really trippy. There's some really nutty stuff that Diane Franklin did, like really stuff that was really creeped me out a lot, actually. And aside from that, one thing the directors did is they really also emphasized us as a family. We really got to kind of feel like a family a little bit, which I think was a big part of selling it. I think it's a really cool movie, and check it out.
Let's go.
Lately, the sleepwalking has been coming back.
How have you been since you've been back?
I'm fine. I don't know why everybody keeps checking up on me.
Your mom's inside. I guess she got an appointment at the clinic.
Great. Can't wait to be a certified comatose patient. Ever since the accident, I haven't really spoken to anybody.
Something as traumatic as that can really take a toll on a person. But about the sleepwalk, anything out of the ordinary happening?
The occasional nightmare.
The nightmares will eventually stop.
Where were you last night? The sleepwalking has gotten worse.
You can't blame yourself for her committing suicide.
She was right here. You didn't see her?
Jamie is gone, George. The sooner you realize that, the better. You don't want to do this, honey. I promise you.
So you guys have any lead on this guy?
Neighbors said they saw a female mid-20s brunette around the neighborhood. This is Detective Morris taking the lead on this case.
Did something happen?
Do you happen to recall where Jordan was last night?
She was home, actually. She's been having nightmares. Her college roommate committed suicide. It's taken a real toll on her.
Do you remember any of it?
I'd like to up the dose of Ambien for her, doctor.
Are you sure this is what you want?
My mother knows best. I trust her.
Whose blood is it, Jordan? Tell me if you hurt somebody. I protect my child by any means necessary.
What if I woke up the bad guy?
Wake up.
Yay! So you look good, though. You weren't really gray. You were more like salt and pepper gray.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I am.
They aged you well. You look older than you are now, for sure. Now,
It's interesting, right? It was natural then,
I
but
want
I
to discuss
got
something.
younger.
I find it very upsetting, these trailers that we put out with this quick. Years ago, we shot a trailer, but we showed you a scene, and that made you understand the movie better and want to see it. These quickies confuse me because they're trying to put the whole cast in it in a second. And it just so this trailer I'm not happy with. I would have liked to have seen. No, I don't think it's a good trailer. Tell your producer I said so.
I will.
think they should have held the camera on you longer. They should have held the camera a little longer on the principals and the extra people. Get rid of them. But I mean, it just doesn't work. For
I'm
me.
used to it, so I
don't like it.
I totally
because it
understood the whole
doesn't tell
thing.
me a story. I only know there's a carpet knife. And you as a doctor or something.
So I mean, I agree with you in a certain way with those kinds of things. I was just talking to my kids about this. My kids are getting to the point where like they're like little adults, like 11 and 15. So, I can talk to them about like cool stuff. And the thing is that most of the time when trailers do that kind of thing where they don't really show you much actual dialogue and stuff, oftentimes they're covering for the fact that there aren't really good scenes in it. That you know what I mean. That's what we were thinking. Now with this, I think they just they were trying to kind of go with that style because there's a lot of really good scenes in this that they could cut a trailer that I think would be more to your liking. I'm going to talk to them about it.
The cinematography was really good.
Only because we are in a world now of people that do not have patience for anything. It seems that when I work or go, they say, don't do that, don't do this, because the audience won't get it. I said, what do you mean the audience? What do we got, morons out there? And the producers say, yes, we do. The majority of the audiences are morons, and they don't understand dialogue. Because lots of times I'm in a movie and I play a tough guy from Brooklyn, all right? You cannot fuck with me because I'm from Brooklyn. The accent's real. The personality is real, okay? Don't give me a line that sucks. Like I say all the time, oh gosh, gee, heck, I'm upset. People in Brooklyn don't say that because if you do talk that way, they beat the shit out of you when they meet you or in the street.
Right.
So,
or that's how it was.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying is that the dialogue, example, I was in a movie where I said the joint, and the director came over and said, you can't do that. And I said, why? He said, nobody's going to know what a joint is. I said, a joint is a place in Brooklyn. Go over there. Go to the new joint where they serve good food. You know what I mean? Couldn't use the word joint. And I thought, that's ridiculous.
Well, like in Sopranos, you remember, Joey Pants or whatever his character, he had that. Can I say it? Can we swear on this show? I don't want to.
Say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you
want. He says hua. Instead of whore. Yeah. It's like it was a thing. It became like a set piece. That his character was like, she was a hua.
I always say hua.
We're actually working with him soon in his movie.
Jimmy says Jimmy had a beautiful actress on, and he introduced her, and he said, and she's a very, very famous whore.
No, I didn't.
And
horror.
I said, Jimmy, you can't call her a whore.
How do you say? You're in horror movies. How do you say horror?
See how we say
horror? I see. I say horror.
Horror. He says it right. You say horror. You say like a whore.
No,
and the girl got upset.
Horror.
No, she said, oh my God. She said, I don't play that. She's got
a horror actress.
He's got that stupid Florida accent, Southern. Ho. She's a hoa.
Horror.
Whatever the hell you
horror.
say. It's
horror. It's like you linger on the R.
I think movies have changed a lot, and right now they're geared, towards the younger people, especially the lower budget ones. I think this one looks like it's shot really well. Diane Franklin's a great talent.
She's amazing. Yeah.
We actually went to a red carpet two Halloweens ago where she was like honored, and it was at Madame Tussauds, and it was an awesome like costume party.
Very
it
nice
was a lot
person.
of fun. She's super nice.
Very nice person. But I say whore, and it's Brooklyn, but whore.
Right, but it's like if they had, in the case of this person who told you not to say, what was it?
Don't say germ.
Yeah. It could have been. It could have become like a set piece. It could have been.
Let me give you the whole line because it's a ridiculous line.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, you mean the joint where the coffee cups smell like dirty ass?
Yeah, see, and you get it for the context. Like, that means joint. That means a joint.
They took it out. They changed it.
They changed it. And here it is.
They changed it to what?
You want to hear how faggy it sounds? A guy from Brooklyn's going to say this. Oh, yes, that's the place where the coffee cups smell like dirty ass. It doesn't go. It doesn't work, you stupid jerk.
Oh, yeah, that's the place.
Director is an Italian from Brooklyn. That's what
Did you do it? But you could probably sell that still. You probably sold that pretty well. So.
I don't know. I haven't seen the film. It hasn't ever come out.
Let's hear it.
No, it was in Europe. It did well in Europe. I don't know if it's here yet, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know what they used. But we have an audience today that
So wait, I want to switch.
Go.
All right, so how come you got deleted out of Lost Boys the Tribe? Were you
cool. I have my perspective on this honed because I've been talking about this a bit lately. So it's like I think that I think they were looking for a little shock thing to try to include us, me and Haim, at the end of the movie. And they were like, oh yeah, this will be cool. We'll plant this thing. And then, Haim will be like, oh yeah, he's, your brother's the head vampire. And I think on paper it sounded cool. And I think when they did it, it looks kind of dumb. I mean, I don't know some people love it. There's someone I was talking to who loves that deleted scene. That's their favorite part of the entire franchise. So I don't want to, some people love it. But for me, I think it looked a little dumb. I think a little cheesy. I had long hair, just very different than my character. And so I'm kind of happy that they did that because it made us able to, in Lost Boys 3, in The Thirst, bring back my character more as it is.
Well, I liked the third one. I didn't really like the second one that much. I mean, it was okay.
What movie? I got lost.
The Lost Boys has 3 of them. There's 1, 2, and 3.
I get lost every now and then.
He got deleted in the second one. He came back in the third one. I thought the third one was a lot better.
Who did you play in the third one?
The same character in all of them.
The same character, older.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I don't age. I try not to age. So it's.
Yeah, you try not to age.
I have to see it.
He plays Alan Frog. He's one of the.
Because I like the original Lost Boys.
Is one of my absolute
I want to
favorites.
see the third one. I've never.
You should see the third one. You know what? It's not like this is what I say because I'm at conventions and I talk about this. It's like it's not the same thing as the first one in any stretch. That first one is a magical thing that came together. This like you can't plan that in the same way. So the Thirst. It's fun. It's a little follow up. You get to see the Frog Brothers again.
The first was shot in old Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true.
Knew how to make a great movie.
Yeah,
right? That's the difference. The photography, the script, the effects weren't CGI. They were just wonderful.
Yeah, it was all practical effects. Yeah,
that vampire shit. I love vampire movies.
Yeah.
I play a vampire, by the way, in one of my movies. A gay vampire, by the way.
Even better.
So basically though, like, because everybody like, who's your convention rep? Do you have a convention rep?
Yeah, Missy Gordon. Do you know who that is? Yeah, Scarlet Abbey. I'm not exclusive to her necessarily. So if you got some conventions, I mean, Missy, I love you, but I'm not. I'm still.
I think people. So people come to me all the time saying, "Who do you know? That we could." Put in our films and stuff. And so every time people come on the show, I add them to my list. I've got like 300 names of people, because plus I that way I can, use people in my own movies because I've got 9 films in development right now.
I have 6 movies. I have 6 movies waiting, and I can tell you that in my 6 movies, I don't know how many people have come on our show that are now in my movie, right?
Lots of them.
It's not my movie. I hate that. It's the movie you're in.
Well, the thing is, I love it. I love the ownership, though. I'm totally down for that. I'm in a zone where like I'm looking for work. I'm excited. When I've sort of as I've come back to acting, what I've come back with is my being a dad has like deepened my emotions. It's like
going back to that. When you act as a father, do you use how you are with your children?
What's funny is that. I did a little bit, but when I shot Waking Nightmare, it was the boys were still pretty young, and Jordan, my daughter in it, was a teenager, and so I didn't quite have that experience. I definitely brought the compassion and the emotion to it, and I think that's part of what's nice about it is that we as a family were acting that way. We were functioning that way. Diane's a mom as well. So
because most actors,
we met her daughter. She's acting too now. Her daughter's
that's right. That's
really
right.
well.
Most actors that are playing a father for the first time that I've interviewed, I ask them that question. And how many of them go blank and say, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "What do you mean you don't know? How do you don't know how to play a father?" They said, "No." I said, "Then you shouldn't play a father. Because if you don't know how to play a father, you're going to come off as an actor who has no idea what a father is." So you go and see what a father is. You know what I mean? Research it. Have you ever seen a movie where the father doesn't work? Where the father looks like he's going to fuck the daughter? It's not a
totally
thing.
Like Halloween.
You know what I mean?
Rob Zombie's Halloween was like that.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, you better learn how to be a father before you play a father.
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting too because I have another one of the gigs I got before the strike was a movie. I play a lawyer in like a kind of a feel good holiday movie kind of thing. And one of the things is that it has I wasn't the parent, but I was it's sort of about parenthood and it's an emotional story and I really was able to bring a lot of emotion, not even like I was like crying, but just sort of you could see it in the in the reaction shots and stuff, which I was really happy to see, and I think that's genuinely coming from me. What's that?
Which movie is that?
It's called Mr. Manhattan.
Got it.
It must be on my
Pena Vega. And Brett Rice has been on our show a bunch. We love Brett Rice.
Now, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
Yeah, he's great.
Let me tell you another little story. I have a very wonderful friend whose name is Dave Bailey. Dave Bailey has written probably the best script I have read in a long, long time.
Oh, yeah?
Dave knows me and my 2 daughters. He's very close with us.
Right, totally.
So when he wrote his script, he said, "Ron, I want you to play the father." And I wrote it exactly for you as you are with your daughters. So this man is smart, because when I play that part with the two girls, it's going to look real because it's so easy for me. This is what I'm trying to bring out.
Yeah,
and
and that's the subtle thing.
Dave's movie. Dave's script is
Ingrata.
And it should be shot soon.
I want to do some more bragging for Jamison real quick because he's very humble. So you guys, another big movie that he was in when he was young. How old were you when you were in The Blob? That was before or after?
The Blob. Oh my!
That was after Lost Boys. Yeah.
Okay,
that was,
so you guys, he was in the remake, the 1988 remake of The Blob with Kevin Dillon, Shawnee Smith, who's like huge, Donovan Leitch Jr., Jeffrey Damon, Erica Eleniak. That's a great movie. I fucking love the movie.
It is the ultimate camp. I love that.
Yeah. I loved The Blob, and I'm happy that it's getting the cred, because at the time it didn't quite soar the way we were all kind of thinking it might.
What you play in The Blob?
I'm the usher. It's not a huge part, but I have a few lines. I'm the brother of the one of the blonde kids, and
I love all those. I love the Killer Tomatoes, and my favorite is
he likes Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He likes all those
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love it.
Yeah.
Then the film, you guys, that he did in 2000, I think this is like 2015 or something. Bone Tomahawk, is that 2015?
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk's another cool movie. It's also, I'm not one of the leads, but I'm in a scene with just a bunch of great actors and actresses. Sean Young plays my wife, which is pretty cool, and we met her. We met her at a premiere. John Jamison had a movie premiere, and we met her at his premiere. Cool. And and that guy, the writer director of that, S. Craig Zoller, we met in New York. That's the kind of thing like you're talking about. We did a couple of plays together. We did a movie called Tornado States together, which never went anywhere, but we loved each other. He's a great cinematographer. He's like brilliant cinematographer, and I used him when I did a short film called Rooster, which is on my IMDb page. He was my DP. We shot it in 35 millimeter because he was just so brilliant at making it work. So he when he did this movie, his career has really taken off, and he wanted me in. That was his first big, bust out movie. So
which is a lot. So let me just brag. The people in Bone Tomahawk.
Before you go into that long thing, I bet you're going to get work from being on our show. Exposure.
Totally.
So you guys in Bone Tomahawk, Matthew Fox, Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Richard Jenkins, Michael Pare, James Tolkien, who was on our show, Robert Allen Muke, Sid Haig's on our show, David Arquette, Sean Young. It's such a stellar cast, of people. And those things. I mean, nothing will ever beat The Lost Boys, just because for me it's like one of the greatest movies ever. But
they were kind of excited about working with me, all these stars, and they were like, "Yeah, The Lost." They were excited about The Lost Boys.
Absolutely,
like, cool.
I don't think it's a matter of beating it. I think the new one just should hold its own and be as good.
There is no new one.
Huh?
There is no new one.
You said there's a new Lost Boys.
No, there's not. They're not
pitching a Frog show.
Aren't they doing Lost Boys again?
What? No, we're pitching a Frog Brothers show. We're going to try to do a Frog Brothers TV show, and we're trying to build up some momentum. We're not there yet, but we're pitching it and trying to get people.
Corey and Jamison's Real Frog Adventures, or what's that?
So the Corey and Jamison's Real Frog Adventures. What is that? What was that? That was because we just were investigating a paranormal thing. So I think it's just like a video of us doing that. And it was like, we're the Frog Brothers in real life, the real Frog Brothers.
The real Frog Brothers.
Yeah. And I'm also doing another YouTube show right now. I've been going up to Santa Cruz and checking out the old locations and, just talking about them and some pretty cool stuff. We have 3 episodes up, and something I'm still just trying to figure out how to push and where to push, but it's all over my socials. So check that out if you get it.
And what's it called?
Jamison Newlander's Lost Locations, Searching for the Lost Boys.
Oh, that's perfect. You guys look it up, Google it on YouTube, you guys, and let's watch it for him.
It's pretty fun.
So how hard is it to get out of horror movies?
Well, I'm not naturally a horror actor, actually, because I wasn't a horror kid. It scared me too much. I didn't go to, I started going to horror movies after I was already in the genre. So I'm really more of at heart, kind of more of a comedy I'm more of a serious actor in a way. I was in New York, I was doing theater and stuff. So I never really really embraced being in horror, but I'm kind of maybe doing that more now because I'm not trying to get out of horror so much as play up the horror side of my, painting.
Because you have a lot of stuff that you did that's not actually horror, though. A lot of like everything you have, you're not really. I don't really think first of all, I don't even really think of The Lost Boys as a horror film. It's not
That's
really.
True. It's light horror. Yeah.
It's light horror. It's
That's
not really,
definitely not a horror
It's
film.
not a horror film. So
Not
I
at all.
think really the Blob is, but it's a campy horror film. So I don't think Waking Nightmare might be horror because it's
Waking Nightmare is a horror.
It's a horror film.
And Bone Tomahawk definitely is. It's a horror western.
But I try to stay away from cheesy, crappy chopper movies. If I do a crappy script, I don't do it. I like thriller. If we're doing a thriller, everything I'm doing, every movie I'm in, is a thriller horror.
Yeah, see, that's good stuff.
What I like because it has a storyline. A chopper is just everybody gets chopped up. There's no storyline.
Right.
Well,
I still can't see Saw. Like I can't see it.
See, that's my favorite. So
What is that?
He said I can't see Saw.
And I love Shawnee, but I just can't see it. It's too.
I love Shawnee, and I've only met her once, but I love the Saw movies. But I don't go with him. I go with his daughter.
I don't like unnecessary.
Like I can't wait for the next
To
one.
me, it's poisonous to young people. Young people's minds should not think that killing, shooting, or stabbing is an event. And a lot of them do, unfortunately. And I think it's a very mind-disturbing thing when you see things like, I can't say it, but the movie we just went to the carpet last week. Oh, my God. You have to see this movie to know.
Very graphic.
To talk about. You have to see it to know.
So wait a sec, though, because we went to.
I've never in film seen anything like it.
Do you know the Mahal
And
brothers?
neither have you.
Do you know who the Mahal brothers are? They do like indie, like low budget, but they're decent films. And anyway, we went. Their last premiere was back in October. They do like 2 or 3 a year, and we got to meet like Costas Mandylor, who's the star of all those songs.
He is so nice.
And he was in the movie, and he
What
was
a
like
nice
really cool.
guy.
And we also met Robert Lasardo. I don't know if you
Love
met
him.
Robert Lasardo.
He's in a movie with me. I'm in a movie with him.
But he's very scary looking. He's all tatted up everywhere, and he looks mean. And he always plays really mean, bad people that kills everybody. Nicest guy you'll ever
A
want to meet.
sweetheart Italian, Brooklyn.
Italian.
You can't beat an Italian from Brooklyn.
So I read on your Wikipedia that you also did a movie with River Phoenix. Is that true?
Yeah, this was one of the first movies I did. So it's like, I wasn't like a Feldman. I wasn't in the industry. I compare myself to Feldman in that way because he was in the industry since he was like 2. So I got in when I was about 12, I started getting serious about trying to do it. And then I got a commercial at 14 and then a couple other gigs. So this was among the sort of early set of gigs that I got. And it was Tuesday Weld played this mom.
We know her too.
Yeah, she was, I was young. I didn't get to know her that well, but I was on set one day. What happened is that he and I were both up for the Sun in this, River wasn't famous yet. And, and I wasn't as famous as I am now. And but Tuesday Weld's blonde. So, and I was like, as darker than I am now. My hair was like, almost black really. And so, yeah. And it's like, so he got the part, but they liked me a lot. So they made me his friend. There's a scene out there of us. It's actually a really cool little scene of me being just this bad kid. I'm smoking, and like, I'm just his friend, and it was one day, it was a movie of the week called Circle of Violence, a family drama, ABC movie of the week, I think, or one of the movie of the week, CBS anyway, but he, and I was on set one day and we played football, me and River. It was this weird thing because I never saw him again. And I was kind of hoping that we would be like in a movie again, and then of course tragedy. And, he, but he was such a great kid. He was such a nice kid. I think he was also happy to have another kid on the set, so.
I loved him to death. Running on Empty is one of my favorite movies. Him and Mark Clinton, and it's a great movie. And so I really always loved it. So here's something I like to ask.
My daughter Deirdre is friends with the whole family. And River,
Joaquin also great,
and Rain and Walk's dad. So Leslie Deirdre has only the nicest things to say, and his mother. Deirdre loved his mother and his aunt. Very nice people. the whole Joaquin gang.
That's great to hear. I mean, because I'll tell you, River was a special dude. Special.
Oh, before I ask the question I want to ask, because we have about 10 minutes left. I didn't know that they made a Tale of Two Corys actual. I knew that there's the Two Corys like television reality show that I knew about,
right.
But I didn't know they actually made a movie about the Two Corys. And you play a.
Is this the documentary? Is that? Oh no. That's right. That's right. There's a movie. I was in it. I played the cop that pulls Feldman over for drugs.
Which is kind of funny though that they would have you do that since you were. I mean, it was smart casting to do that.
It was fun. I mean, they wanted me to. They wanted me in it, and I was happy to get a part. And I think originally they were talking about me playing Bernie Haim, but it was a little controversial, and it's. I knew Bernie, and it worked better for me to be the cop.
I actually I still keep in touch with Judy.
Good.
Judy.
I'm glad. I always loved Judy. I'm not in touch, and after I think the documentary with that I was in with Feldman, it got a little racy, and it made it all kind of a little awkward, and so. But I always loved Judy.
What,
Jamie? This is the Yenta part of the show. Our Yentas out there, they want to know: is your wife in the business? How did you meet your wife? Let's hear about it. The Yanks want to know.
Okay, so my wife and I, she's an actress. Not successful. We were both doing theater, and she's a really talented actress. We met in New York. We were both sort of, struggling. And we met, and we fell madly in love. I mean, we. That's why I get emotional.
That's very nice.
Yeah, we really kind of fell in love right away. It's like, and it's like we've been together for it's 25 years today, actually, that we met.
Good for you.
That's awesome.
You're married, of course.
Yeah, we're married. We got married in 2002, so we're married. Yeah, and we went through a lot of things. She had a rough time a few years ago, and raising kids is not easy. We raised 2 kids. And
tell me about it. I raised 2 alone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also we have a type 1 my kid is type 1. My 15-year-old has type 1 diabetes, which is like, it's great. He's amazing. But it makes it a little harder. Certainly those early years, it makes it harder. But you know what? We're together through it all. And
I love it.
I think we might be in love,
That's terrific.
That's the Italian. You're such an Italian. You're a sloppy Jew Italian.
It's true. The Italian side, the passionate side. There's something. I have only a quarter, but it's like it's big.
No, I'm just like you. I get choked when I talk to this one.
No, I think that's beautiful. I think
we're married.
And 25 years in the entertainment industry is actually for anybody, 25 years is a long time to still be in love. We're married for 10. And together only 11.
And when we're married 25 years, I'll be 135.
Which I love it. So here's something I like to ask. We have a couple minutes left, and I like to ask all the actors. So bucket list. If you could work with any actor, male and female actor, living or dead, who would you like to have worked with? And if you could have ever been in any movie that's ever been made in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Wow. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to say this. I would say that there were 3 big influential actors for me when I was a kid, and that was Pacino, De Niro, and Hoffman. And I would say of those 3, probably De Niro is probably the one that I would want to work with most, even though it's close. It's very close, So I would say that Robert De Niro.
Okay,
I've never worked with him. So.
Did you know that their careers, what's his name's career, is in danger because of his politics?
Sure. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm sorry.
Trump and all the Trumpies don't like him, and they won't go to his movie. So you cannot do that in Hollywood. You got to keep yourself private in that respect.
He's a great actor, though. But I don't know who Hoffman is. Who's Hoffman?
He died.
Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, Dustin Hoffman. He's not dead.
Oh no, the other Hoffman I'm talking about.
No, Dustin. I couldn't think of
What's the Hoffman I'm talking about?
I don't know.
I mean, like Kramer versus Kramer was a really big movie at a certain time for me.
Hoffman, who played with De Niro, and he played a homosexual in the movie with De Niro. He was a drag queen living in the apartment with Robert De Niro. What was that movie? It was
You're talking about William Hurt. You're not talking about William Hurt.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm talking about Hoffman, who played Capote.
Okay. Different Hoffman. Yeah, different Hoffman.
Yeah, different Hoffman. Yes, that's what we're trying to figure.
Died.
Okay, so go to the female. Who's the female you'd like to work with?
It has to be someone not just that I think is
and it could be dead. Oh yeah, well, beautiful works too, but
let's see. I think I mean I hate to go, I feel like this is maybe everybody says this kind of thing, but Meryl Streep. I mean,
everybody says Meryl Streep.
You know what? There are so many actresses far better than she. I don't know why she's the one that everybody chooses. She's a good actress, but she's not. No, I know so many actresses that
I like Charlize Theron, even though I'm not an actor, but I would like.
I agree.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, but Charlize Theron is not Meryl Streep's league. Charlize Theron is a good actress and beautiful.
I know, but I just like her.
Here's one. Who is it in the one in and it's not just because she's beautiful. She was amazing. In the one about the sex therapist. The one who did that book. That show. Darn it! All right, you know what? You go.
You're exactly like me. You suffer from the same thing.
What's the okay? Well, while you're thinking of it and looking it up too, like what movie would you have liked to been in?
Let's see. So maybe like Reservoir Dogs. Actually,
movie.
What movie?
Reservoir Dogs, fantastic movie.
Yeah, because I love Tarantino. I just think Tarantino is so brilliant, and Reservoir Dogs. It's like a play. I think that maybe that goes back to, that thing you were saying about that, that for me, good dialogue, good meaty dialogue of, character stuff. That's the great stuff, so I think maybe something like
character development. That's what I like in a movie. And they don't do that anymore.
That's one thing.
I have to give a plug. If I had a choice of working with an actress, it would be Michelle Dockery.
Oh, he likes Michelle Dockery.
Do you know who Michelle Dockery is?
I don't know if I do. No,
she's from she plays Lady Mary in Downton Abbey.
But I've seen her in a million things. She is an incredible, better than Meryl Streep.
She was on a show on TNT called just something behavior, disturbing behavior, or something.
Something behavior. She played a prostitute, drug addict, liar, murderer,
whore, like thief,
kleptomaniac,
and which is way different than playing like the prim and proper like Lady Mary from Downton Abbey. And she's so good.
Her performance was outstanding,
it's fantastic. We actually watched the whole series twice.
Michelle Dockery,
I'll check that out. It made me think of my one, but it's not the one I was thinking of.
Okay,
Catherine Hahn. You know who she is?
Oh yes, love her.
Sure.
I am like my wife and I both like whatever she does for some reason it's just magnifying.
Mesmerizing.
Mesmerizing. That's it.
That's what
she's very funny.
That's what Doherty does. She mesmerizes you.
I like that.
And you don't know why. I mean, you can point to something, but some people just have that quality and I would put her in that. There's a lot of people who do, but
I have a lot of young people, especially at red carpets, that come up to me and say, "Do you think I'm going to make it?" And I said, "What do you think I am, Houdini?" I mean, I don't know, but I do know. If I talk to them for 4 or 5 minutes, I know.
Really interesting.
I know because some of them have a light that just is kind of, why are some actors so famous and so wonderful? Betty Davis. I knew Betty. Betty Davis in person was not the person she was on screen. If you knew Betty in person, she was an old lady, an ordinary old lady who picked her nose and drank coffee and smoked and drank. But on the screen, she was glorious. Why? The camera saw something And if you don't have that something, you're never going to be a star. You'll be a struggling actor, but you'll never be a star.
So that, what's interesting too is that along those lines, like when I like being Alan Frog, when I was Alan Frog, like I wasn't like that at all. Like Alan Frog was tougher and cooler than I ever was, so along those lines, sometimes the camera sees me as tough, I guess, maybe not this camera, it's the glasses, but I can be tough.
I think it was such an iconic thing. So what was the movie? Because what was the movie that you would have wanted to been in if you could have been in a movie?
Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I fucking forgot. I'm so retarded. All right. So
you're not retarded. You're just 60.
So I will. So you guys, listen. You can follow Jamison on Instagram. It's at Jamison Newlander. If you guys are looking for a cool actor for any of your cool projects, check him out. He's a Lost Boys for me. Literally one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen it. Like, I know all the lines. I've seen it so many times.
Remember, you cannot beat vintage.
Oh, and you have to come, because I have a Lost Boys DVD signed by almost everybody in the movie, but you haven't signed it. So next time I invite you to the event, I'm going to find it and bring it.
I love it. Oh, and I forgot to plug that I'm going to be in New Jersey Horror Con coming up here next month in April 19th.
Perfect, you guys. So New Jersey Horror Con, we want to thank you for coming on. I'll definitely be in touch. I'm going to put you on my list of people.
Awesome.
I get a lot of people going, and I have a bunch of stuff going on right now with it, and I think a lot of people would like to see you in some of the films.
I think so too. I appreciate that.
So it's perfect. So we want to thank you for coming on the show. Have a good one. All the best to your wife and your family. I love the moment, and we hope your sons, knock it out of the park.
Maybe we'll work together one day.
I would love it. Let's do it.
I'm fun on the set. I'm a lot of fun on the set.
I bet you are.
They tell me I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
I think you have to have fun on the set. I think it's part of the deal.
Not allowed. I was being wired, and the guy had a lot of trouble getting the wire up my leg. So I wear underwear, so I dropped my pants, and he was down on his knees wiring me. And I said, "Oh, by the way, while you're down there," and they ran after me, and they said, "They'll throw you off the set."
Those are tricky. Yeah, those
It was a joke. There's 100 people around.
It's different now.
Yeah,
not allowed. You can't do those jokes. You can't fool around with the female actresses either.
That's what that's the
way it is.
I was working with
an era gone by, I guess.
I was working with a female actress who was very pretty, and she couldn't get a line right. And she kept saying, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do." I said, "Just show a tit. Nobody will care."
You can't say that anymore.
Can't do that anymore.
Jamison, thank you so much. Best of luck in everything you're doing, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Nice fella.
Absolutely, you guys. So that was Jamison Newlander. Fella. You guys can follow him. He's at Jamison Newlander. Now we're going to bring out our next guest, who is Greg Mullavey. I think is how we pronounce it. Mullavey. Hello.
Mullavey it is. It's Irish.
Mullavey it is. All right. Hello, it's nice to see you. So now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented Greg Mullavey. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jimmy, and hi, Ron.
Hi.
I was going to introduce you, but now you know who he is.
And Erin Gobra. Or Erin Gobralis. I did that with Cloris Leachman. Yeah, I did that with Cloris. It was around St. Patrick's Day. And I said, Cloris, Erin go without a bra. I said, and you went without a bra on that show.
She did.
Dancing show. So we did a whole interview about her being braless, and she was built on a TV show.
So first off, Greg, we have people in the chat room. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everybody in the chat room. Nice
there
to see
we go. Are you really Irish? I like your accent.
Of course
I'm Irish.
I love it.
I'm not from Ireland.
But you lose the accent because I watched a bunch of clips of you on YouTube.
No. I'm not. I wasn't born in Ireland. No, I was born. My people are Irish. My father was Irish, and my grandfather was from Ireland.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. So you guys, I met Greg actually on Facebook because we're Facebook friends, and I saw that he was in entertainment. And actually, when I first invited you on the show, I only knew that you were on Mary Hartman. My parents loved that show. They always watched it, and I watched a bunch of it as a kid. And I had no idea until after you said you were going to come on the show. That basically, like, you've been in every fucking thing ever made.
Wait, let's go back to Mary Hartman. We have to go back to Mary Hartman.
Okay, let's go back to Mary Hartman.
I must tell you, my favorite part of Mary Hartman, and I laughed for days and days, was when the nuns had the auto accident and all the nuns were over there. I'm still laughing. That was the funniest scene you ever put on film. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yes, of course. But
it was hilarious. I love that show. I watched that show. Oh, I never missed an episode.
A man of great taste. You're a man of great taste.
No, it was a funny movie. It was ahead of it was ahead of its time, you know.
And Louise, yes, it was. And Louise and I are still very good friends. I see her a lot. And we actually did a film together, a short film. It was at the Newport Film Festival and did very well. So
ran a long time.
325 episodes according to IMDb. I don't know how many years that is, but that's a lot of years.
That's a lot of years.
That's a lot of episodes, yeah.
And everybody I knew watched it. Everyone. Because we used to talk about it. Did you see that? Did you remember that? You know, it was just a wonderful show, but beyond its time, about subject matters that were not spoken of in those days as we are doing today.
Right.
The humor was very sarcastic and wonderful.
Yep.
Wonderful show. I wish.
So Norman Lear. It was Norman Lear, one of Norman Lear's shows, you know.
Yes.
And you were wonderful in it as well, as all of the girls were. You know, I met the lead. What was her name? The one with the braids.
Louise Lasser. Woody Allen's first wife.
Right. I met her.
Oh, I didn't know.
Living in the same apartment that Woody and she got when they got married.
I met her in an airport. And of course, she didn't know who I was. And I just walked up behind her and I said, Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. And she turned around and she went like this to my face.
Oh, really?
And she smiled. It was very sweet.
Yeah, she's great.
Of course, I didn't pursue it because we were rushing around to get on our flight.
Yeah.
But she was very sweet.
I also noticed, so I did a bunch of research on you for coming on the show today.
Yeah.
And, that you were married. So you were in, I kept seeing Meredith McRae and all these different things. And then I realized Meredith McRae was your wife.
She was my wife for 20-something years. Yeah.
And she was on My Three Sons and Petticoat Junction, which I watched Petticoat Junction as a kid all the time.
I know her from years ago, Meredith.
Billy Joe.
Wife.
That was your wife?
Meredith McRae, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Gordon McRae was my father-in-law, yeah, for many years.
She was a nice little actress.
So for the listeners tuning in who might be a little younger who don't know what Mary Hartman is, I made a little brag list of some of the things that we could like brag about for you, and then we'll go back and talk about some stuff. So first of all, you guys, and I ran out of room, so I couldn't write it all down, but here's some of the TV shows that he has been on, first of all. So Greg has been on some of these TV shows. Life with Lucy, Dynasty, McCloud, MASH, Family. That was my favorite show as a kid. Different Strokes, Heart to Heart, The Rockford Files, Canon, Marcus Welby, MD, Ironside, Family Feud, Dinah, The Mike Douglas Show, Gomer Pyle, Merv Griffin Show, The Fugitive, Ben Casey, Gidget, The Rat Patrol, The Jackie Gleason Show, Mission Impossible, The FBI, The Big Valley, The Virginian, Daniel Boone, Petticoat Junction, It Takes a Thief, Mod Squad, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Hawaii Five-0, Adam 12, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, and that's only like half of them. I ran out of space, and I was just like, I don't have any more room.
Let's go direct.
Wait. I'm not finished.
Okay.
And then, you guys, here's some of the cool people, and everybody will know these people, especially like Ron's going to know every one of them. Dick Sargent, these are people he's also worked with, you guys. Dick Sargent, this is just some of them. Rosalind Kind, Yvonne DiCarlo, Ann Archer, Brian Dennehy, Hector Elizondo, Loretta Swit, Lee Purcell, who was on our show not too long ago, Steve Lawrence, Lucille Ball, Natalie Wood, Robert Culp, Elliot Gould, Peter Fonda, Jackie Cooper, Stella Stevens, Charles Durning, Karen Black, Burgess Meredith, Jacqueline Bissett, Richard Burton, Ann Margaret, Maud Adams, Ann Bancroft, George C. Scott, Bo Bridges, Diane Cannon, and there's a bunch more, but those are like names that are like household names of your generation.
And I knew a lot of them. Rosalind Kind was on our show a couple of weeks ago, and I want to get to the Big Valley. Did you work with her, Barbara Stanwyck?
Yes.
Oh my God! I've met so many celebrities from my era, but Barbara Stanwyck I had never met, and I regretted it when she passed away. I love Barbara Stanwyck, her work. I love who she is, her personality. Tell me she was nice in person.
She was very nice. Yeah, very nice. Oh,
Because I love Barbara Stanwyck. Oh my, what an honor to work with her for you. What an honor. God, you worked with Barbara Stanwyck. How lucky are you?
I was. It was great. I mean, she was wonderful to me. I mean, very nice, and had lunch. She was great. We had a nice little chat.
Understated. She was never up there with Betty Davis or Joan Crawford, nor was Ida Lupino. I knew Ida Lupino's sister, Rita Lupino, and Rita told me lots of stories about Ida. And Ida never made it like Barbara Stanwyck. Barbara Stanwyck never got an Oscar. Ida Lupino never got an Oscar. It was only about basically Joan Crawford and Betty held the crown.
In that era, yeah.
But the other actresses were just as good, if not better.
Okay. Yeah.
They were wonderful.
You got to be good, and you got to get lucky to get.
Yeah.
You just got to be lucky, and people have to like you. And I'm a member of the Academy, and I vote, and some of the people I vote for, who I think are very, very talented, just don't win, or they don't even get nominated. I mean, that happens too. So I mean, talent is selecting talent for awards is the crapshoot.
Greg, what have you got to say about the stars of our era as compared to today?
I think they were much more iconic in the sense that everybody knew who they were because we had less options.
Yes.
We have so many options today to look at people. I mean, it's all watered down now. I mean, there's some wonderful actors out there, but most people don't even know who they are.
That's right. You're right.
So,
because the studio did the PR.
Yeah.
And that was what it is. I tell everybody, if you don't have PR, nobody's going to hire you.
You've got that right. Yep, that's true.
You got to let them know you're out there and you're alive. Let's talk about some other old stars that you've worked with that maybe are not on Jimmy's list.
Well, Natalie Wood was one.
Natalie.
Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. By the way, it's the 53rd anniversary of Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, a movie that I did 53 years ago with Paul Mazursky directing.
Oh, I know Paul Mazursky.
Me too. Yeah, Paul is terrific. He was a very good actor too. And
Paul Mazursky, I met through Judy Marland. Do you know Judy Marland, the producer?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I met him through Mike Frankovich.
Well, Judy and he were.
That movie was a big deal, though, right? Bob,
it was a big deal in its day. Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. Yeah.
The movie Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice.
Oh, yeah.
He's in it.
Oh, you in it? Who'd you play?
I played the group leader at Esalen. And my wife and I went up to Esalen to do research. We had worked with Paul Mazursky for a week, the actors, not the stars, but the lesser actors about Esalen. And we did improvisations that he used. And some of the dialogue he used, he recorded everything. We rehearsed. I had never rehearsed a movie before, but he did rehearse us for a week. And we gave him a lot of great ideas. We were all very good actors and that had improv work as part of our repertoire. And we did improvisations on his script.
That movie was a sensation.
It was.
Everybody was shocked with two couples in the same bed, which suggested it was a four-way or five or eight-way, whatever it was.
My wife and I went up to Big Sur. We did it. My wife and I did research because the part of the plot was they met at Big Sur. They went to Big Sur for a weekend. The cast, I mean the storyline. So I went up there to know how a group leader would behave and how he would, deal with the group. The very first night we got there, Jennifer Jones was on our plane growing up.
Who, Jennifer Jones? Jennifer Jones.
She was in the same group we were in. We went up in a little plane, and we wound up about 35 miles away from Big Sur. We had to go by bus. And I still have a sketch she made.
Astro, shut up.
On a paper napkin that she left on the plane, and I grabbed it as I got out. Anyway.
You're talking about Jennifer Jones.
You're talking about Jennifer Jones.
Another one I'm crazy about.
When we got there, my wife and I, Meredith McCray.
Go on. What was Jennifer Jones like?
She was very, very nice.
Very sweet.
And very sweet. As a matter of fact, though, she was also beautiful. When we got up there, the first thing we had to do was get into a big tub with a bunch of other people, a hot tub, We got up there about 11 o'clock at night. We were to go into a hot tub. We were all naked in a hot tub. This was doing research at Big Sur at Esalen, the place up there where a lot of very liberal people went on weekends, and big stars in the academics were there.
Who was naked?
Everybody in the hot tub.
Yeah, but I don't have names. Give me the names of everybody in that hot tub.
No, I don't. I just have Jennifer Jones, myself, and my wife, Meredith McRae.
So you were naked in a hot tub with Jennifer Jones?
Yes, I was. And she found her moon. She found key light before she took off. She came after everybody else was in the tub, right? And she found moonlight and took off her robe and then slipped down into the tub. And I moved my body slightly so she'd come down on top of me, because the Song of Bernadette was about ready to light herself naked on top of me. And my wife punched me, though, to make sure I moved.
I don't blame her.
Wait, for all my people out there, Jennifer Jones was very famous playing the little girl in
Song of Bernadette.
Well, she's a religious thing, a nun or whatever that was.
Song of Bernadette.
Song of Bernadette. But my favorite film with Jennifer Jones was with William Holden. Fabulous movie. Shot in China. And
there's something about Sue Wong?
No, she played, that's the other one. She played an Eurasian doctor.
Oh, yes.
What the Love is a Many Splendid Thing. A film I suggest you rent or get.
Great movie.
The ultimate love story. You will cry your eyes out. Jennifer Jones was one of the most famous actresses of my era, and I never met her, and I always wanted to. So you and all the people I love. You're so lucky.
I know.
Greg, you're lucky. You met my idols. Who else? Talk more. Who else have you got? Name drop. I love it.
Actually, I can tell you though. Hold on. So
old stars, not the new thing.
Well, he. Oh well, I don't know. Like so. Then I don't know. He worked with Francis Fisher and John Saxon. You know John Saxon.
Yeah, I know Francis Fisher.
He was in the Hindenberg, you guys, which was a huge movie.
Good movie.
And everybody in it is
great. Anne
old
Bancroft.
school.
You worked with Anne Bancroft?
I never worked with Anne Bancroft.
I would love to have met Anne Bancroft. I never did.
I just met her at. I studied with Bobby Lewis. I don't know if you know Robert Lewis. He was one of the member of the group theater, and Anne Bancroft is a good friend of his. And every Sunday he used to have a little soiree with Lee Strasberg too was there, and that's where I met Anne Bancroft.
Did you ever meet Jane Russell?
No, I never did. No, never met her.
You guys too, for all you guys who like soap operas, he was on The Bold. We're friends with everybody from The Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think
we're still friends.
Yes,
currently.
I think you. I don't know if you were on it when any of the people that we know were on it, but like we're friends with Ron Moss. He was probably on it when you were on it, and Sean Kanan, Bobby Eakes, Lorenzo Lamas, Barbara Crampton, Kimberly Brown, Jacob Young, Ian Buchanan, Antonio Sabato Jr. They've all been on the show.
Yeah.
So we've had all of them. And
did you ever meet Betty Davis or Crawford?
No, I never did. No, sorry, but no, I never did. I just played with Charles Bush, who does. You know who Charles Bush is?
He knows Charles Bush.
I know Charlie for years. The drag queen he always plays 1940 drag queens in his plays. Yeah, Charles Bush, I know. Ooh, I know Charlie.
You're in New York, right? You're in New York.
I'm in New York right now, yeah.
Yes, I know Charles Bush, how many years? 50, 60, how many? No. Jesus only knows.
Not that many, no, he's not.
I remember Charles Bush when he started off as a drag queen. And he was...
So Ron used to impersonate Jane Russell.
Believe it
back
or not.
in the day, and sing in his own voice and do supper clubs and stuff, and then he became best friends with Jane Russell
for years.
Yes.
For years, and she was quite a dame, a wonderful person, a great heart, terrific, down to earth gal. I miss Jane all the time. Did you ever meet Loretta Young?
I never met Loretta Young. No.
She was
but a little bit before my time.
Lovely actress of our day.
Yeah.
How about the men guy? Ever meet Robert Redford?
I never have. No.
All right, give me the names. Name drop.
Let's just talk about what he's actually done.
Not there. I want to hear. I want him to say it, not you.
I know, but like
it's not your interview; it's his interview. I mean, Greg.
I know, but you're asking.
No, Greg is good. Greg is going to give me all the dirt.
What was your favorite thing that you got to do? Like, or what are you most known for? When you would walk around on the street, does everybody know you from Mary Hartman, or where do they know you?
Back in the day, yeah. When I was doing a Broadway play with Tony Perkins, and I was playing Mia Farrow's husband, played a romantic comedy. That the guy who, anyway, I was doing this play right after Mary Hartman in '79. I was doing this play, and I would get recognized all the time for that. Hey Tom. I even got propositioned by some girls that way. They wanted to make sure that one of the storylines was that I was impotent because we were having sexual problems. My wife and I, Mary and myself. I played Tom, her husband, on that show. Tom Hartman, I played, and people offered to help me with my impotence. I didn't pick anybody up on it, but my wife would have killed me. But nonetheless,
it was real.
It was real, yeah, for sure. And one time I was in the subway, and I was going to do the play, and all of a sudden these three black guys ran at me, and I thought, I'm dead. I'm going to get killed.
What did they say?
Three black guys ran at him in the subway, and he thought he was going to get killed.
Oh, sure.
And
they said, you're a star, right? You're somebody, right? Right. And because they had seen me on Mary Hartman, and they wanted my autograph. And so at that time I realized, oh my God, I'm kind of famous now. At that time, that was in the heyday of Mary Hartman. People watched it at night here in New York.
And he did a play with Anthony Perkins.
Anthony Perkins and Mia Farrow.
He played Mia Farrow's.
I played Mia Farrow's husband. I was a journalist, and I got a great review too, which they were not happy with. I got great notices, and they didn't.
Mia Farrow. Oh, Frank Sinatra's ex-wife. You're not naming her right.
Mia Farrow is her name.
Mia Farrow, yeah.
I think I'm having a stroke. Mia Farrow was in Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah,
right. Mia.
So he played her. He played her husband on a Broadway play with her. And
she's a nice little actress.
She is.
I love her. I thought she was brilliant in The Great Gatsby.
She was terrific. Yeah, she's very good.
Her performance in Great Gatsby should have gotten an Oscar. Her performance was absolutely perfect.
She's terrific in it. She's very good. And the nicest person in the world.
Probably. Her mother was also. Her mother was very kind and sweet.
Yep.
Very sweet.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
He also worked with Richard Burton. That's somebody.
I never met Richard Burton.
Oh, you never met Richard Burton?
But I knew Elizabeth Taylor, but I never met Richard. When I knew Elizabeth Taylor, she wasn't with Burton. She was with that construction worker, whatever his name was.
Oh, okay.
I did a movie with Richard called Raid on Rommel, where I played 5 different parts.
Oh, wow.
What movie?
Raid on Rommel.
Raid on Rommel.
Oh, I know that film.
Yeah.
Yes, Raid on
Rommel. We shot it in Baja, California, down in Baja.
Yeah. He played an Arab, didn't he? What was he?
No, he played an Englishman.
He was an Indian, right?
Tank commander.
What?
Englishman.
Burton?
Burton, I thought, like a Maharaja or something.
No.
Wrong movie. Oh, Reigns of Ranchipur.
Raid on Rommel.
I'm thinking of Reigns of Ranchipur.
No, this
with Lana Turner, where he played the Maharani.
So let me ask you a question: did you like doing because you got a bunch of both. You did a bunch of movies, and you have a lot of television. I mean, on the biggest shows ever. Yeah. Did you like doing TV better than doing movies? And back then, was it as different as it is now? Because now TV and movies are very different.
No. Movies are better than TV. Movies are much better. My opinion. TV stinks.
Well, it's all the same kind of work.
Yes,
it's what it is.
It's my question. Let me finish.
I want to say something. Greg, television is 100 miles an hour, and you only get it once.
You're right.
A movie you can work with and develop. I like movie. I hated television. When I did television, I thought I went to a factory. Mm-mm.
Well, you're hurried much more. There's no question about it. But if you have a good director, they'll find stuff and And look at Frank Sinatra only did one take. He didn't want to do any more.
And Dean Martin never did anything but do it. He never rehearsed.
Do it. And so in television, you do rehearse. It's rushed, though. It really is rushed. No question.
Television.
So it's still no different then, because it's rushed now. Like on the soap operas, they'd shoot like 50 pages a day.
Movies
stuff
today.
like that.
Movies.
I'm talking about today compared to back then.
No,
is the question.
Back then, they made a movie. Today, they make a documentary. It's not a movie anymore. We don't have dialogue. We don't have acting. We have realism. Don't act, they say. What do you mean don't act? What are you paying me for? How do you feel? I don't like the business today.
Well, great performances that are real and get you, no matter what they are, grab you. And I don't care what era it was from. I'm looking for work like that all the time. And some people just were able to do that or command your attention just by grabbing you by just looking at them. Like Greta Garbo could do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. They just have something. And I think you talked about your previous guest.
Yeah.
About this aura people have that you
call light.
Light. Call it what you will. They have that. And you can watch them no matter what.
No, like I said on the other show, Betty Davis, I knew Betty. Betty off camera was an old lady from Connecticut. She was just as common and as ordinary as could be. She didn't do, let's ask for the moon, we got the stars, that kind of shit. That was on film. Betty on film was magnetic, was marvelous. You couldn't take your eyes off of her. Betty in person was an old lady that smoked too much, drank too much, and cursed too much.
Right, so, but she wasn't always an old lady. There were times when she
had magic. She had magic. Camera loved her.
True enough. I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
You can't get any more magnetic than Betty Davis.
One thing I think is super cool, like because you've done so many different things, is the fact that like
you guys are cutting out. You're cutting out. So.
Oh, I don't know. Is that us? Oh, can you hear me? Okay. One of the things I think is really cool is the fact that you were like on iCarly, which is one of the most popular, kids shows.
I know.
The last 20 years, and you're on with the people all the kids that were on that show are huge stars now, and they were very popular then. So how was that playing the grandfather with all those young Hollywood stars?
It was great fun, Dan Schneider. I didn't even want to do the thing because I thought, I don't want to do a kids show, And Dan Schneider's wife is the one who was a Mary Hartman fan, so she convinced me, as did Dan, that I would be known by another generation. And you know what? That's true, because I did a play not too long ago in Seattle, at Seattle Rep. And the kids, well, in the mornings, they always have one time during a run, regional theaters will have kids come. And they came from a high school. And they all knew who I was, because
iCarly
generation people and other people in the cast were older like me. But who the hell is this? Why are they clapping for you when you made an entrance? Because they knew me from iCarly. So that was a great choice that I made to do it, because they offered me the role. And I said, okay, do I get paid? Yeah, okay. So I
do I get paid?
Well, how do you feel? Here's how I feel about. I'm 83 years old. I'll be 84 in May.
Yeah.
And when they need, as they say, an old bag, so they get the $8,000 from using me, because they get money if they use me because of my age.
Yeah.
Get Ron Russell. And I feel sometimes just like, I don't know what I feel like. I don't feel very good about it. How do you feel about being referred to as, Greg, is he still alive? Or how old is he?
True. I get that. But I do theater, so.
Or do you think he'll drop dead in the middle of the movie? I get all that kind of crap. Ron, are you healthy enough to do a whole full movie? I said, well, I hope so, and I hope to do another one after it.
Yeah. I'm that way too.
I find it very disconcerting, my age coming before my personality or my talent. What do you feel about that, Greg?
Well, I think so. It's rampant in our business. Are you kidding me? Ed Asner and I used to rail about that all the time. I mean, he was rant about ages in our business, which is awful. But, as you get older, there are less and less roles. and that's why I do theater, because theater is much more forgiving, and
it's so much harder.
I just got done doing King Lear. That's why I have the beard.
But I'm lucky.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I'm very lucky. Unlike you, who had plenty of work in your youth, I had nothing. I work my ass off now as an old man, so I'm happy about it.
No, that's good. That's great.
All the time, because there aren't too many people my age that can still walk and not pee themselves while they're walking.
Nobody notices. It depends. Is that right?
Yes, nobody notices. Actually, I have a question. Since you're in New York, do you know Julian Schlossberg?
No, I don't. No, sorry.
You might know. He did a lot of. He does a lot of play
Broadway.
Stuff.
He's the king of Broadway plays.
He does a bunch of stuff.
He's an incredible guy.
Actually, you should meet him. He's a very cool guy.
Do you still do stage?
I just got done doing King Lear, playing Lear.
And do you have a plug, or do you remember lines? You wear an earplug? Or
No.
Do you remember lines? Shut up.
And I just picked one of the biggest roles ever to do on stage, playing King Lear.
Oh my God! And you remember that?
I remember. I just did it. I just got done doing it.
I would be fired in 2 minutes. King Lear, you're still doing
King
it?
Lear. I played Lear.
Remember that?
Yes, I played it.
Yeah. Soliloquies this big. Oh my God!
It's a huge role, but I just got done doing it a month ago.
Well, I admit,
and you kept the beard.
The 18th of February, we were done.
I never lie. I don't like lying or bullshitting people. I use an earplug.
You do?
Yeah, because I'm better than everybody on the set. All right.
Well,
before the earplug,
you could use it if you did. I've never used one.
What happened before the earplug was I used to forget who to talk to. My mind would go blank. So I got an earplug, and now they feed me that line if they see I'm starting to go blank, and it's wonderful. So I never drop a line. I know every line. I can act. My work I could get done in a minute. Now they're the young people. They're flubbering. We're doing retakes for the young people, and I feel so superior.
You're plugging the mirror.
Because Johnny Depp.
Do you own the plug, or
pardon?
Do you own the plug? Is it yours, or do you just ask for one?
What?
He wants to know if you own the plug.
Oh, I own my own plug. Yeah, I definitely. Because
are you plugged in now?
No,
I have hearing aids also. So no, I don't need the plug now because we're not rehearsed. We're not scripted.
Right, I understand.
But it's so much more comfortable. Like I'm sure you struggled through King's Lear. You're not going to tell me that you didn't.
I struggled the first. We hadn't rehearsed enough.
So wouldn't it be nice?
Couple performances here and there, I called for a line, but after that, no.
That's amazing, though, that you can remember. At any age, I think it's amazing that you can remember King Lear.
Meryl Streep uses one. So does Johnny Depp, because Johnny Depp does not like to memorize scripts. So when you see Johnny Depp in a movie, he's being fed. The same thing with De Niro uses a plug. So many older actors now do it because it saves money. Production doesn't want over and over and over again because we run a day or two or three late. It costs money. So they're happy that you wear a plug. It's not a bad thing. If you say to them, don't worry, I can shoot a whole day. I have a plug.
So hang on. Okay. So I want to, because we've got 7 minutes, and I want to ask.
Oh, he's a good guest.
No, I really am. I'm amazed. I mean, you really have had such an astonishing career.
Yes,
this is something that I like to ask everybody, and for you, it's going to be
not over.
For you, it's going to be yes. You're still having an amazing career.
His career is not over.
Being that you've worked with so many famous, amazing, well-known people. If you could work with like a bucket list, and for you this is going to be different than everybody else because nobody's worked with as many people as you have, male and female actor that you've never had an opportunity to work with that you would like to work with, and they could be living or dead. And then if you could have ever been in any movie ever made in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in? And you got to pick something that you weren't in.
Oh God. All Quiet on the Western Front would be a movie that I would love to do.
Awesome. Nobody's ever picked that.
What movie?
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay.
Because it says so much about war and its awful aftermath.
Oh, I know the movie well.
It's a great movie.
What part would you have liked to have played?
Well, in the last one, I would have liked to play one of those guys that went through it.
I think it's perfect.
Sometimes
they're not known actors, so I can't name their names offhand.
Right.
I would love to work with Gregory Peck. I would love to work with Gregory Peck on Moby Dick. I did Ray Bradbury. I did a play that Ray Bradbury wrote, and he wrote the script for Moby Dick. Ray Bradbury did. He was asked by John Ford to go ahead and come over to Ireland, and he wrote this play about being in a pub in Ireland, all men in the play, called Falling Upward. And I did it in L.A. a number of years ago. But that's one I would like to have been in. Playing Ahab would have been nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so who are an male and female actor that you think would be fun to work with?
I'd love to work with Pacino.
Okay.
Or De Niro, or anybody of that ilk would be fun to work with. Because I'm trained by the same people. I studied with Strasberg and proponents of Strasberg. And Sanford Meisner, I studied with disciples of. And
what about a female?
Joanne Woodward. I'd love to work with Joanne Woodward.
Joanne Woodward.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. So sad about Joanne.
I know. It's too bad.
She's got Alzheimer's, and she's such a doll. I met her, oh my God, before she was Joanne Woodward, before she was anybody, in Greenwich Village. We all used to hang out, Marlon Brando, Wally Cox, Joanne Woodward, that whole genre of actors. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Marlon was anything yet. He was starting, but she wasn't even with Paul Newman. She hadn't met him yet. And she was a sweet girl. This is 1954, 5, long time ago.
Yeah.
Have you lived in New York most of your life then, as far as an actor?
No, most of my life as an actor, I lived in L.A. My daughter still lives there. But I lived in New York. I'm from upstate New York. My father was a baseball player.
Okay.
For the White Sox. He was a coach for the Dodgers for many years. First base coach for the Dodgers, infield coach.
Cool.
In the Walter Alston years.
First base on the Dodgers?
First base coach.
When he was the Brooklyn Dodgers?
He was with the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was managing Montreal for the Dodgers in Montreal in 55. In 56, he came up to Brooklyn, to the big club. Walter Alston was the manager in 55 when they won the pennant. The Dodgers did. And then my dad was there from Brooklyn, for Brooklyn 56, 57, 58, they moved to LA, and so did I.
I'm from Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn. So I was always a Brooklyn Dodger fan. Then they moved to LA and I said, screw you.
Yeah, of course. But then
You're not from Brooklyn anymore. How could you be the LA Dodgers? Not possible. The Brooklyn Bums.
I know, they were. Anyway, that's what my dad did. And so I wound up in LA and started my career there, more or less. I did plays in New York. What?
Remember how nice LA was back in those days?
It was smoggy. It was very smoggy in those days.
I don't care. It was just sweet. Country. It was a little town. Los Angeles, we lived on Poinsettia. And I remember the trolley car going up and down Santa Monica Boulevard.
Santa Monica Boulevard, yeah.
That's how long ago. In 1950. 1950, LA was just the most beautiful place in the world. Oh, my God. Coming from Brooklyn, bricks and cement to palm trees and flowers and mountains. It was astonishing. I was 9 years old. And
I love it. So
you're about 10 and a half now, right?
Yeah. Some people say to me, oh, don't wish to go back in time. It was bad. And I say, that's not true. It's not true at all. There were bad things, but there's bad things nowadays. But when I was little and growing up and becoming a young man, I used to have a convertible and I left sunglasses in the convertible. They were there. They never were stolen. Now, if I parked in Hollywood with my top down and sunglasses, they take the friggin' car and sunglasses.
They
So
would.
it's a whole changed world. It's a whole changed world.
So hold on, because we're out of time. We're out of time.
One
We
more
gotta go.
thing. And I remember when I was a kid, the movie stars that lived in our neighborhoods, all in the Hollywood flat, the Beverly Hills flats, it was astonishing. You could walk down Hollywood Boulevard and you could have Clark Gable and Carol Lombard or somebody walking. It was just breathtakingly fascinating and fun.
We got to go.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, meeting Carol Lombard. And
No, I think Carol had her. I think she
I do remember seeing a friend of mine, but other than that, no. I didn't remember. No, and then when I first got to Hollywood, people were asking for money on Hollywood Boulevard, and I think that's changed. Let's hope.
Absolutely.
Hollywood
All right, so
Boulevard.
you guys, we got to go. We're out of time. We're 2 minutes already over time, so we got to go.
Oh, Greg, I'm sorry.
so
You're a
first-
wonderful-
Pleasure talking to you guys. Let's
No,
do it
Greg,
again sometime.
Congratulations on everything and all your successes and your future successes, King Lear. There's a really big one. We want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll see you on Facebook, and thank
You're
you.
a great guest, and maybe one day we'll play brothers in a movie. Wouldn't that be?
Not a bad idea. Let's do it.
I love it. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks to our guests, Jamison Newlander and Greg Mullavey, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.